Hey guys, this is a Sears turn-of-the-century ceiling fan. Now this fan you may remember. I posted a very short clip a while ago titled, it was a BA&F short titled Sears TOC Mystery. The fan that was featured in that is this fan, and I have solved the mystery actually. When I got that fan, well, first of all, let's go back to about 6 months ago. I was at the Restore, and I pulled this fan out of the scrap. It didn't have blades, but it had everything else. It had the mounting bracket. It had it's a flush mount model. Like, it has a flush mount canopy, but it had a down rod and a ball and a mounting bracket, like a down rod ball and socket mounting bracket. So I also got those, but for some reason it didn't have any blades. So I said, okay, I can just find some spare blades probably. But anyway, yeah, so I took it home and I took the faceplate off. I don't know why, I just decided I wanted to take the faceplate off and see when it powered up first. Good thing I did that, because when I powered it up, smoke came out of the heat sink on the that's mounted to the top plate. So yeah, I had no idea what happened. There's a heat sink mounted to the bottom of the top plate, and on that heat sink is a small black box with a germanium transistor on the other side. So I assumed the transistor had failed. I bought a new transistor on Amazon, actually, put that in, and it still didn't work. So I assumed that the black box had failed, and I didn't know what the black box was. I thought it could be a capacitor, but I don't know what. I still don't know what it is. So the fan just stayed dismantled, and it stayed in a box over there on the shop floor for about 6 months, like I said, until I just happened to be searching up on eBay for vintage ceiling fans, vintage like Lasko, Sears, everything, and I found that somebody had a listing for parts for a Sears ceiling fan. And lo and behold, it was the exact heat sink, transistor, and black box that this fan used. So I couldn't hit the buy it now button faster. But included in that listing was also a spare variable speed potentiometer and a pull chain and a reverse switch. So I thought, oh, that's good. I have spare ones of those. I could never have too many of those. So yeah. Fast forward to, I think it was like a week ago, yeah, a few days ago, the part arrived, and I installed it, and it was working. When I first powered it up, it was running, so I thought, okay, that's good, it's running. It wasn't doing anything before. However, the variable speed knob was not affecting the speeds at all. It was almost as if the knob was like out of circuit or something. But I thought, that can't be right. So I tried a few different combinations on the wiring combinations with the motor windings. And so I thought, well, maybe the transistor is bad. So I took the heatsink back off, and on the bottom of the black box was that germanium transistor. Remember, I had bought a spare germanium transistor, brand new from Amazon, that I knew worked. So I put that one on, and sure enough, everything came back to working. However, I did determine that the old variable speed knob that came with it was also bad. Actually, everything didn't come back to working at first because it still wasn't really working that well. So I tried the new potentiometer that came with the parts that I bought, and it works fine. So yeah, the fan is 100% working again. I'm very happy that I got it to work. Now, the blades are a different story. I was hoping to find some genuine Sears turn-of-the-century blades for it. This would have come with tight weave cane or stencil. They have been spotted with both. But of course I wasn't going to be able to find any of those. They didn't have anything on eBay. I didn't find anything like for sale in the groups. So yeah, this is kind of just a temporary solution until I find some genuine blades. These are just some generic Lowe's Harbor Breeze blades that I bought a few days ago. They look okay, but they're really cheap. They're really not anything worth like keeping on there. But yeah, so about this fan. This fan was made in the mid 80s, I believe. It is a variable speed model, like I had just mentioned in the story about it. Um, it's actually quite uncommon. I don't think I've ever seen one of these with variable speed. I have seen them in 10 speed. The 5-blade Sears turn of the centuries with 10 speeds are slightly different. They have a sort of smaller motor housing, I think, and they have a smaller stamped spinner motor made by CEI. This one has the old style Sanyo skeletal motor used in the Laskos and the Searses of the time. The 10-speed ones also had a longer nose with a domed nose cap. This one is clearly older than those. So yeah. It has the exact same motor housing that the other Sears and Lasko ones had, and the exact same faceplate that the Emerson-made turn of the centuries had. The very first turn of the centuries were made by Emerson. I actually have 2 of those. One of them is installed in my addition upstairs, and the other one is over there on the floor. And then they switched to Sanyo in the early 80s, and then they switched to CEI in the late 80s, and then I think they stopped the turn of the century series and continued to be made by CEI for like their generic like GE vents and all those other ones that Sears made. So, and that continued up to the 90s. So that's enough talking from me, so let's go ahead and turn the fan on. Now it does have a pull chain that is a single on-off pull chain, like a light kit pull chain. The variable speed knob is on the side of the nose, and it does have a reverse switch on top of the motor. So we'll turn it on by pulling the pull chain, and I have it set to high on the variable speed knob. That extension is original. It's all one length, kind of like on the old arcless pull chains that they used in the Emerson models. My head may be blocking the camera. So that's what it does on high. I forgot to mention these blades make the fan slightly smaller. I think they make it more around like 50 inches. I thought that was stupid that they didn't sell like real 52-inch blades, but yeah. Wobbles a little bit. Moves a lot of air, as these Sanyos and Laskos often did. I think one of the blade arms may be bent. Wouldn't surprise me, it was in the scrap. I'm going to turn it down to a sort of a medium speed. Whoa, okay, I just kicked the camera. Did that mess it up? Now it's still in focus. Okay. See if I can find a good medium speed on the variable. It's a little fast. That looks like a good medium speed. Yeah, this one has a really good range of speeds. I'm very happy with the variable on this one. So it's a pretty decent medium. It's a little hummy. It makes a small like whining motor hum, but it doesn't have like a solid state buzz like on older variable speed models like the old cardboard box Casablancas and the Evergos and everything like that. So it's definitely well made. At least the circuitry is well thought out. And I'll get to how the circuitry works after I finish the demo of the fan. So I'm going to take the variable all the way down to low now. And before with that, both the broken transistor and the broken variable potentiometer basically just had at first it had like a sort of a medium-ish speed on the lowest position, but after running it for a while it just stopped. It was just all high. So that's the low speed. It's actually a pretty decent low. It's a okay restaurant low, maybe a little fast for some people. Maybe if it had the right blades, it would be slower. It is pretty quiet, still a little bit of hum, but yeah, I'm still feeling some air from it actually. Okay, turn it off now. And let's find the reverse switch. Somewhere up here. Oh, there it is. Flip it to reverse and start it up on low this time. I have not tested it in reverse yet, so at least not with the new transistor and potentiometer. Seems like it is going a bit slower in reverse. That's a pretty good restaurant low, actually. That's a really good restaurant low. Okay, I'm going to take it back up to a medium speed. That seems like a good medium speed. That might be a bit fast, actually. Take it back down a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's better. That's a good medium speed. I feel like it is a bit quieter in reverse. I don't know why. Okay, I'll take it all the way up to high. I don't know what that noise is. That might be the mounting bracket. Performing in reverse just as well as it performs on forward. Okay, so now I'll turn the fan off. Flip it back to forward. One thing I like is that there's no off position on the variable potentiometer either. It's like the pull chain is the only thing that controls it. That's why I find it's pointless on some fans. They have a pull chain and an off position on the variable. It's weird. But yeah, here's the fan up close. There you can see. Of course, you saw this in detail in my previous video about this fan as well. But you didn't see it with the faceplate on, so yeah, it's got the same ornate sideband that the Emersons have. I know they did make plain models. So there's the motor. You can see the exact same Lasko type skeletal motor. The blades. These are very nice wood finish blades. I wish they were real wood and not particle board, but you know. There's the variable knob, as you can see. This, it might, I think, I don't remember if this is the original knob, because the new potentiometer I got also had a knob. It came with a knob, but I can't find it. I don't know where it went. Somewhere around here. So there's the pull chain, which, like I said, is not an extension. This is all one length. And the reverse switch is right up there, as you can see. So a bit about how the variable in this fan works. From what I understand, it's very similar to a Casablanca slumber quiet system. At least I don't have a slumber quiet. I've never seen one in person, so, or I've never seen the insides of one in person, so I don't know how similar it is. But basically, there's, like I said, the heat sink up here, which is a little warm, with a black box on it and a transistor. Now, I thought that the black box was a capacitor. It is not. There is a capacitor on top of the motor. It was just hidden from my view. So, yeah, it has that, and The transistor is basically what controls the speeds. It's kind of like how in a dimmer, like a light dimmer with a triac, is basically the exact same system, and it has a wire-wound resistor as a potentiometer that just varies the amount of voltage going to that transistor, which in turn varies the voltage, switching the voltage that goes to the motor. At least that's how I perceive how it works. I don't know what the black box does. That might actually be a capacitor, might like be a smoothing capacitor, I don't know. But yeah, so let's see if I can show you the label. I want to see what the model number is. I don't know where the label is. There's the canopy, the big flush mount canopy. The label's right here on the other side. Let me get down and go around. Okay. It's upside down, but Sears Roebuck & Company, Chicago, Illinois, model number 453.115500. There you can get a better view of the top of the motor. There's a caution sticker right there. The motor housing is a bit loose. I need to tighten it, but like other than that, it's pretty good. So another interesting thing that I did mention in the last video is that this it doesn't have a vent screen. The vent screen here is actually a solid piece of plastic. That's really cool. I guess it's to hide the heatsink up there and all the wiring for the reverse switch and everything. But it doesn't make sense why they wouldn't put a vent screen there. It's weird. I don't get it, but whatever. So that's the Sears, made by Sanyo, turn of the century ceiling fan. Thank you for watching, and more to come.